we need to have a conversation with that. In particular for this particular segment, 'cause we can get into a lot of those other extremes. But for in particular for this segment, I would like to go over content creators, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitch, whether it's on Kick, whether it's on whatever, because content spaces are popping all over for streamers. And the idea is that what do we do about the people that decide to go all about the extremes? And what do I mean by extremes? I mean like fighting, telling people that pretty much it's on site when I see you. I'm talking about those who, and sorry, I'm trying to look for my notes because my notions and everything is all over the place. Um, but also people who are like, oh, when I see you, I'm gonna get you. It's like to come catch me outside, girl. Pretty much, come meet me outside, and I'll take care of you. But we have people who dox. So, for instance, some people like to have a form of degree of being anonymous because maybe they have a particular job, maybe they're trying to protect people in their families, things like that. But then you have content creators that like give out their job, give out their address, talk about their family members. We have extreme content creators who talk about sexually assaulting not only family members, but the people, the very creators that they're talking about, which calls into question some other things that are in play, but it is what it is. And these are the things that we need to worry about when it comes to what we see and how we interact and what exactly are the things that we're looking for. Because the question is, and I always do this when it comes to being on the internet, are the people that I'm particularly talking about, or the people that just show up on the internet in general, because we have plenty of examples of them right now. There's no way we cannot say that we don't know this. Are they being authentic or are they being a character in order to influence us? Just some food for thought. All right. I wish I could have had some videos. I'm kind of just doing this in real time with you guys. I got articles upon articles, but I don't. I'm not the kind of person that likes to sit there and just read a bunch of articles because Jesus Christ, I am not. I just finished taking off my class. I am not the best person when it comes to reading a whole bunch of stuff. But I am. I am willing to talk about these things because I don't want to pull up. Here's the reason. I don't want to pull up those particular content creators that I do know who are in particular spaces because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not trying to give them any shine. I'm not trying to give them any shine. And the truth of the matter is that they grow like weeds. There are so many of them now. I wish I can say that there were only a handful. I wish I could even tell you that there was literally 10, but they show up all over the place. And there's no way I could be able to highlight them all, but I can highlight the particular antics that they do and perhaps you can have a conversation as to why they do these particular things. So I'm going to be doing a couple of things in real time. One, I'm going to be talking to you guys. Two, I'm going to be going through what I can find in terms of content to see what I can and cannot use because a lot of these people, as much as flagrant as they are, they also don't want to be recognized because they are quick to strike people's channels. They are quick to threaten people. And I'm a kind of person that say you can threaten me as long as you like. When you show up at my door, it's gonna be a different interaction altogether. Just saying. And I for one don't even care to be in those particular type of spaces. So if you have somebody that even barely throws out threats to me, I'm not worried about you. I'm not. I don't worry about you. I don't worry about the things that happen when it comes to me because the only thing that matters is how I respond to it. But I do worry about the people who are negatively impacted, who are either around me or even around those particular people, especially if I'm talking to you, if you happen to be one of those people. I am worried about the people who are negatively affected who are around you because those people tend to believe that the things that you are doing are considered to be okay. And therefore, they are the people that also spew out these kind of negative things that end up hurting other people throughout the time. Right. So, first thing I want to go through is I want to talk about these content creators who basically they have fewer subscribers, like me, few subscribers. I'm just coming up in the game, right? But the idea is that they're amateurs, like myself, and they're aspiring to become professionals. Now, the issue is that they're focusing on optimizing their content by any means possible. They're not willing to do it the slow, long, and arduous ways that I'm willing to do. And I get it because I'm starting off. It's a lot of fierce competition out there, and the truth of the matter is that I'm not even looking to compete right now. I'm looking to really figure out what's going to be a great brand, what's something that's going to be interesting for you guys that falls in line with both our alignments. I want to know that both you guys will agree to not only watch, but also agree to participate, but also for myself, that we're in alignment when it comes to having these particular type of topics, right? These particular type of discussions. I don't want to just review my algorithm and then see what you're really interested in and then just feed you that. And it's something that I necessarily can't stand myself. Some people are willing to chase things down because people like to hear content creators make so much money, which most of them don't. Oh, content creators are making so much money, and you guys are willing to pretty much do anything so long as you really figure out what your target audience is. And a lot of people are like that. And I'm not knocking you, especially on a business perspective. But for someone like myself that just wants real, genuine conversation because I'm a person that always likes to grow. I don't believe that I always know the answers. Believe me, I don't. But am willing to challenge people that do believe they know the answers or spit out rhetoric or spit out narratives and talking points. And I want to know if that's what you're really believing is the truth, or is that the kind of BS that's you just come to believe because of social media, because of maybe even your social circle. Maybe you're the people that just belong in a very conservative family and everybody says that. So you're inclined to say that too, even though you don't necessarily see those things, particularly in your own lifestyle. Maybe it's your particular state. Maybe it's just how the voting district happens, whatever. I found a lot of very, very interesting comments, especially in my last video. And it's a for those of you guys who already do know me, you know how I am when it comes to being in other people's spaces. I move the same way across the board. Sometimes I may move a little bit more aggressive depending on how much I've been drinking. But outside of that, it's just like I'm always trying to understand why do people think the way they think and why do people do the things that they do? Because I'm trying to figure out is it for the interest of this themselves? And I'm not against people being selfish, but how does it affect us as a whole? Because quite frankly, we cannot move forward in any group, in any culture, in any religion if we're divided. And the thing that we notice that is here in our states, and even though I love this country, there's a big divide that's happening. It's been happening and it's continuing to grow. And we need to figure out what the actual crux of the issue is. Yeah, I mean, they do. They do. I think people who are more in the space of actually looking to benefit other people because they think of who are their clients ahead of time, who are their audience ahead of time, and they move towards that. I think they do very well. It's a very, very slow process. And keep in mind there's so many people that have more resources, that have a team, that are able to just basically drown them out. And that's the thing when you're getting on the internet. Things are like that. But then you have particular content creators, even someone like I would say myself, just pretty much wants to do it the not the hard way in per se, because just starting out just as late in the game is pretty difficult, but wants to do it the authentic way. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of what everybody else is doing and then just ride it from there. And it's not really something I'm not really interested in, but that's what drove traffic. I want to talk about the things that are very important across everybody's world, the views that everybody sees, whether it be social, whether it be political, whether it just be the average things that you go through on your job, just the things that annoy us. I don't give a damn. It's just how people interact with each other when it comes to dealing with each other driving on the road. These are things that I want to talk about because the idea is to have a particular thought process that people have, and then how exactly do we go about trying to fix those things? Because the only way that we can move forward, even as a country, is that we need to come to an actual understanding. And I think more people are just so interested in having a us versus them mentality that they don't even realize that that is the very thing as to why actually having a problem when it comes to being here in this country. We're not trying to understand other people. And keep in mind, understand does not mean agreeing with them. Understanding does not mean conforming to them. Understanding says I understand their take. Because let's look at it this way. The only way to really beat your enemy is to understand their tactics. Let me say that for the people in the back row. The only way for you to be able to defeat your enemies to understand their tactics. If you do not take the time to know thy enemy, you will lose. You will lose time, you will lose effort, you will lose resources, you will just be in an Ouroboros, just eating yourself over time because you don't take the time to learn. So when I think of these content creators and I think of the things that they're trying to put out into the world, right? Are they really trying to maximize on their content? Are they really trying to really slide into the best areas of the algorithm? Are they really just doing this for discoverability? Are they even doing it because they want to be monetized? And when I say monetize, I mean monetize in the idea of getting sponsorships and being promoted by whatever platform that they're on, whether it's YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, whatever. Are they just looking to garner support for the people who are like-minded, who just going to feed into same things that they all believe, which is an echo chamber, and really just suck and drain the resources from these particular people? But the truth of the matter is that there's no real effort to grow. That's my question. Are they doing these things because they just simply want to be in a particular position to siphon from other people, which is being a leech, by the way, and just be in an echo chamber? And there's no growth, there's no real introspection, there's none of that stuff. Because all I see now in these particular spaces are people who just sit around arguing with each other, sitting around fighting amongst each other. And I don't get it. But let's get a little bit more into it because I want to get a little bit into this. So first, we have more established content creators who are pretty much already staying on the game, and they're all over the place. It could be through all kind of efforts. They have a media team. They got all that stuff. Then you have other content creators who are pretty much fluctuating throughout their views. They're pretty much migrating. They're pretty much doing whatever they got to do. And then you got the people who are shooting for clout, whether they are in there someone's chat, whether they are a reactionary channel and they just want to talk ish about someone else's views. And I think you are allowed to have a particular perspective on your own thing. That's already fine. But then they troll, they fight. For instance, I don't know how many people who are watching actually know of the debate that take place in some of these sectors, but I will mention channels such as Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit thing. That's been happening for a while. I even saw there was a recent thing for Aiden Ross. For those of you guys who might know who Aiden Ross is, because he's a particular streamer that's very, very popular. Let me see if I can find it. And honestly, there are other creators that actually do agree with this. They agree with other things that have gone pretty much all over the board. And I will give you an example because even he explains this, right?
Okay, so my boy Sweater Guy got banned for a week for doxing, and the guy he doxed also doxed him. They're like in a little dox war, and he got banned for a month. The other streamer, the same exact thing. Okay.
Want me to give you my entire take on the entirety of Kick?
Yeah.
Let me tell you the problem with Kick right now. Okay.
So before he gets kicked, and for those who don't know, somehow if you're new to this, doxing is pretty much when someone will use your name, use your address, your place of work. It could be what you make for a living. It could be people saying that they want to send a whole bunch of creators, not creators, but a whole bunch of their followers or the people that like them, their fans, over to your platform to try to get you shut down. It could be people who will uh, pretty much try to get you deplatformed by doing a whole bunch of reports, whether they're true or not. It could be a whole bunch of things like that. So that's pretty much the form of doxing. The idea is that they want to try to ruin you for being able to have revenue or discredit you so that you will be able to lose your source of revenue versus other people. That's the form of doxing. And doxing has gone to a large extreme. There, I know content creators myself who deal in dox wars or dealing with other people, but we'll get a little bit more into that. But I want this guy to explain it.
The problem is we give creators an inch, and all of them, because of their insecurity and desperation for clout, take that inch and take. You understand? If we create a platform that allows people to be more free, and everyone takes that freedom and does heinous, disgusting in the name of clout, that's why we are where we are today. That's why we're seeing all this bull. Like, why does everyone have to do these disgusting, crazy things when we give them a little bit more freedom? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So right now, like, the conversation of why is this person banned, why is this person not getting unbanned, blah, 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 that's irrelevant. Right now, we need to ask ourselves as creators across all of Kick, what the here?
I like that.
Some of the thing that
And it's not just Kick. This is something that's been on pretty much any platform, even to the point where you have literally audio platforms. That's it. People who don't even see each other. And you don't get as much of it, but they are out there who will see another platform who is pretty much making equal to, or if not, or even have made a little bit of judgments or have made their own criticism, because everybody's allowed to criticize, right? And people just take it to heart. They just lose their non-existing minds. And I'm trying to understand, why is that a thing? Why do we let this really go so crazy? To the point where you would say that you want to ruin someone by all means possible. And that's the whole reason why I love slash have my reservations about reactionary channels. I think reactionary channels are very good. Not because of the fact that they're repeating things that other people repeat as well, but because everybody has their own particular spin, everybody has their own particular take based on their own experiences. Now, some people fall into niches within the actual reactionary channels, and that's where you can pick apart what's more important. I think if somebody's coming up with their own particular perspective on how they see things, maybe how they grew up, or just how they see the world because they're maybe good in the travel, that's cool. But there are a lot of people who just act very immature, and unfortunately, fellas, we gotta hold an L on that. It are mainly guys that I see do this. It's not the ladies. It's not the ladies that I'm seeing that's doxing each other going crazy. Ladies have docs. I'm not gonna take that away from. But it's mainly the men that I see that are going through dox wars. And I think it's very, very sad. Think about it. The world is large in general. The world is large. These platforms are going global. They're large. That means everybody has the opportunity to eat. And there's a conversation I want to have. There's a conversation I wanted to have prior to bringing up this particular point, but I'll let this guy bring it up.
that's being said, joke or not, it's taking like the freedom that we're trying to give and revolutionize on a streaming platform. It's taking that and it's perverting it, manipulating it, and taking it to extremes. It's like, what the look what it's creating, right? These very streamers are creating the very extreme sides that are being used for the very same cancel culture we all used to once despise.
That's the point. That is the point. Right then and there. And for anyone who wants to see this particular content, like I'll have to remember, but I'll link it in the actual description so that you guys can see it yourself. But that is one of the main points that I'm actually talking about. The fact that we've gone through kinds of cultures. And I was saying this in a previous stream before. I can't remember what stream it was. But then we had an individual that was in the stream that said that cancer culture is, I think there were a few individuals actually in the stream that said cancer culture is still alive and well. I said I don't see that much anymore because quite frankly, I haven't been in a corporate setting where I need to be consistently in and out the door of those particular areas in about a year. I've been mainly working on contracts, but I've been working hybrid as well. But that's why I haven't seen it, because it's just my perspective. But people say that cancel culture is still alive and well. There's some people that say that cancel culture is not really out there anymore, that it's pretty much dissipated. But yet we still have people that are online that are still doing the very things that they believe that shouldn't be done in the first place, like doxing, like having that extreme amount of hatred for someone else who's pretty much doing the same thing that you are. Why is it we all can't benefit? For one, why is it we all can't collaborate? That's my next thing. If someone else is doing better than you should be getting some game from them. This is why I'm always saying that everybody should be part of your rapport. You should be building rapport with everybody. I don't understand it. What makes this person so different from you? And that's what the question that I had prior to even bringing up this particular subject. Why is it that we, and it's a flip question. So number one is, why do we always, for those people, why do we hold other people to higher expectations that we have for ourselves? That's the first one. And then the second one is, why don't we hold, why is it we don't hold ourselves to a particular expectation that we set for other people? Why is it we're not rising above what we set for them? Because when it comes to us faltering, it's like, I'm only human. But when it comes to them, they're supposed to be supermen. And you could take that across the bar.